I think we're live, mate.
Cool.
I think we're live.
Oh, great.
Hi.
Hi
How
there.
are you doing? I'm going to pull this camera back because it's a little bit tight on you.
Also, I like it because it now does look like you're in a security guard's porter cabin with all the CCTV behind you.
Shh. The camera angles were so difficult to get right on this.
Of course.
I'm not going to lie to you because actually I'm not going to go into
because
it.
I'm over 7 feet tall. This
You
is
are.
something podcast listeners won't necessarily
No,
know.
absolutely not. They'd have no idea
I'm
how tall you
medically a giant. So
are. Welcome to the
Yeah.
to the Checkpoint
yeah,
podcast.
put the camera on you. There he is.
There he is. There he is. How are you guys doing? Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Tamer Asfahani, and this,
I'm Jake Yap.
and he's a little bit yellow. I'm gonna have to sort out your.
Don't worry
colouring
about
on
it.
this.
The fact that you're doing
it's
live
all
vision
awful.
mixing is insane.
Well, you know, welcome, one and all, and thank you for waiting. There have been people waiting for over an hour, Jake. For over an hour.
I feel
And-
really bad about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
An hour
and
ago
it's
I was
your
on
fault.
a train.
Yeah, it's your fault. I'm gonna
Um,
just adjust this camera as well, and I am going to white balance you because actually it's really, really frustrating. We're going to do some live white balancing, people. So,
yeah,
bear with
that's
me.
the
here.
kind of thrills and spills you just don't get anywhere else. I would say that this
So
is
much
probably
better.
going to sound horribly over rehearsed. But if you'd like to kind of comment and stuff, I know there's a chat thing on YouTube, isn't there?
There is.
Tamer's going to be checking that.
I'm
going
trying to, for God's sake, with everything that's going on. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if I don't get back to you straight away, but
I'm going to be checking hashtag what's the point on the Twitters,
okay, good.
which is probably the best, easiest way to do it,
Yes, it is.
or something. Or
Yeah, it
nothing,
is.
I
And
don't
I'm
know.
going to try to cover the YouTube channel. This is for those of you, we're talking about t-shirts. So I'm wearing one of my many gaming shirts.
That's-
Jake? you
Yeah,
know who
I'm
that
wearing
is?
this. Yeah, and this is my Silent Hill jumper.
Very good.
Uh,
Very good. I like that. This white balance keeps changing and it's annoying me. Sorry. I'm
Tamer,
sorry about
Tamer.
this, guys. Just leave it. Just leave
stay on
it.
point.
Just leave it.
We should do a
What's
podcast.
the point?
Brexit Cast doesn't bang on about the white balance.
Yeah, but
They just get on with talking about,
yeah, but
you know.
this is not how I
Tusk.
do things. And actually, we did do a stream last week, which we didn't stream because it didn't stream for whatever reason because we hadn't validated
I
it.
think the past participle of stream is strum.
Strummed. We didn't strummed it in time.
It didn't strum.
It didn't strum. And actually, I looked back at it, Jake, and it looked terrible. And I hadn't
Yeah.
shaved, and you looked a mess, and I looked a mess. There was no
You
energy.
shaved? You need a new razor blade. What are you shaving with, a crayon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just colour in the bits. It's foundation, right? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. So, so we've got a packed show today. The return of the quiz.
Oh, thank goodness.
Is here for those of you that have been asking for that. That's none of you. The return of the quiz. Just on the channel or on the Twitters, could you just let us know if the audio levels are fine? They look fine on my end, but it'd be good to know if you guys can hear us, if everything's clear, if we need to change the levels or anything like that.
I
It's,
look so fine on his end.
yes.
And just a reminder, this is not safe for work necessarily,
Yeah.
because this is unedited, whereas the podcast is edited and, you know, all those libelous things. Oh, that's a point.
That's a really, really important point, actually. Do you want to bring your mic down a bit? Because I can only see.
No,
like,
I'm
your
really
nose.
much more comfortable. Like, how's that?
That's better. As long as the people can hear us, that's fine. That's
I
all
like
good.
this chair because it sort of feels like, welcome to the fireside. Today, the story of Sonic the Hedgehog.
We
Once
should
upon a time.
do bedtime story, like video game
Do
bedtime
not,
stories.
because it should be video game based, shouldn't it?
Yeah, video game bedtime stories.
I can't
so-
just do Dorothy L. Sayers, who I'm currently obsessed with.
No, no.
Okay, fine.
No.
All
I
right,
can't do
well,
that.
that's fine.
No. So pack show. I've got lots of news that I want to talk to you about. I've actually
Well, that's
been,
fantastic because I've got nothing.
It's been a busy week. The website has kind of come back to life again with the 2 stories that I wrote today. So
Well done.
doing that, doing a bit more research into.
Are you sort of in manic mode?
I am. I'm in that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Aisha's really annoyed with me because for the last sort of 3 or 4 days I've been
Manic.
just a bit annoying in the sense that I haven't sat still. I've been trying to get this. This took me like 36 hours because I couldn't get these blimmin' mics working, and it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a problem, and it was nothing. Like I don't know. I really it just worked, just out of the blue. It just then
Incredible.
worked. So it's all good.
Do you know what that's all about? The big guy.
I thought you were I mean that.
Let's smell that. It's about
It's
that.
just-
Smell it.
So it's all good. So some great news. Asobo Studios. Let's start with Asobo Studios.
Right, fantastic. Susan Boyle is finally branching out into video games. Voice of an Angel.
We went to Paris for Asobo Studios.
I knew that.
Come on, Jake. Come on, keep up.
I block out trauma, all right?
Hey, hold on a minute. You,
There were rats.
oh, that trauma. I thought you meant our thing.
I don't want to talk
Actual
about that.
thing. Let's not talk
I
about
really don't want to talk
that.
about that. Mate.
So Asobo Studios have been working.
All I will say is you don't take someone, whisk them away to Paris, and not follow through.
I did follow through.
And
And
far, can I just say, we've had some feedback on Twitter.
have you? Oh, great. Good.
Hello, Jem. Hello, Jem.
Hello, Jem.
Tamir is a bit quieter than Jake.
Oh, am I? Hold on.
Jake is coming across lovely and clear and a bit ASMR-ish.
Oh, I know why the mic is. Is that better, Jem? Is that
Let
better?
us know, Jem. I'm
Let
sure
us
he
know.
will after some sort of latency of about 25 seconds.
Well, actually, it's about 7 seconds.
Okay, mate.
Sorry, mate. Just
Sorry, mate.
Get it right,
Mate,
Mate.
listen, I'm saying mate, buddy, which means a bit pissed, a bit annoyed. See, there's a
It's
good
just
example.
I've got to edit this.
David something else. Hello.
Yes, David something else. A big shout out to David something else
Yeah.
because he was on yesterday when I was testing it and he was the person that let me know
Oh, what a
that it was all
wonderful
working. So thank you, David. And
He
thank
says-
you for joining us.
man. He says he's watching, but he's not logged in. He's glad the quiz is back.
Oh, good.
Just
Good.
for you.
Yeah, excellent.
It says audio's okay, posture less so. I suspect he's talking about me.
I think it must be. I mean, I can't. The thing is with, as you know, with
Yeah.
broadcast, you have to get the head sizes right. But the problem is that we're on different levels. So
Yeah.
your head seems a little bit bigger than mine.
Yeah. Well, all right.
And I wanted to
I
do-
think I know where you're going with that.
You know where I'm
Tamir.
going with this, right?
My head's bigger than yours.
No.
So that's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
On the YouTubes, Julie said she can hear audio. That was at the start of the
Hey.
show. Thank you, Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hello,
Paul
Julie.
Elms. Hi, Paul. Can we have a test card with some color bars or a girl writing on a blackboard? Can you dress? You can dress up as a girl, right?
I
Dora.
I
Dora.
didn't
Should we get Dora on it?
I didn't exactly do that at the weekend, but I kind of did. I was in Aberystwyth.
Why are you always in Aberystwyth?
Just wake up there. It's bizarre. Went to bed in Berlin the other day. Woke up in Aberystwyth.
Brilliant.
Anyway, I was doing. There's a comedy festival there, and
I'm just checking the audio.
I sang in a musical.
in a musical.
Not in a music, a Spacebar musical. A show called A Musical.
Oh, a show called a musical.
Yeah, as
Okay.
in amuse musical. Amuse.
I get it, Jake. I just don't find it very funny.
I'm just not interested.
It's
Yeah.
just-
Yeah. Anyway, I sang. The idea is comedians sing songs from musicals, and I sang. I Feel Pretty.
Do you? Or did
yeah,
you?
sorry,
Right.
that
Sorry.
Wow.
Okay. Very good.
Not right now.
So we have got, what else have we got? Everything's fine. Red mic and blue mic, swanky. Oh, thanks, Judy. Yep. So let's
Yeah.
just make it easier for me to figure out what's going on where.
That's the. So you know which one's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah. Asobo Studio. Can we go back to Asobo Studio? Is that all right?
That's where we were.
So Asobo Studio have been working on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which is
Oh,
very,
this is like-
very exciting.
No wonder you've been manic for 3 days.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the videos, and I have to say that I saw it, and then my best friend Grant, who I went to uni with, who, by the way, hi Rob, if you're watching,
Yeah.
who lives with Grant.
It's literally student Grant, as far as you're concerned.
Student, he's still a student Grant, but he sent me the link, and I'd already seen it, and it was amazing. So Microsoft Flight Sim 2020.
Then what was the point of telling me that? That was so snippy.
Well, there is a whole
I'm such a
history
little
around.
bitch.
There's a whole history around Microsoft Flight Sim
No, what I mean is, you just told me he sent you the link, but you'd already seen it.
because we were all excited by
Oh, I
it.
see.
Because what
All right, I
happened
get it. I'm
was
sorry.
Microsoft
I'm
Flight
such a
Sim.
horrible person.
You are. Do you want a cup
Uh,
of tea or something?
No, I just need clubbing around the head. I think.
Oh,
Baseball
Jesus. We've so
Rounders bat.
I'm just going to ignore you. We
I'm sorry. I'm better now.
So Flight Sim, there was a huge problem with Microsoft Flight Sim. They dropped Microsoft after Flight Sim X, which was, I think it was 2000 was the last one they released.
Oh, wow.
2010. No, it's 2010.
Okay.
The first one was released in 1982. Ever the first Microsoft Flight Simulator, and critical acclaim, and all it was just a bunch of instruments. It was like a DOS screen.
We said it was a green block with a blue block.
Wasn't even a green
even
block.
that.
It was a black. It was just black
Wow.
with white kind of
Counters.
effectively. So you've got
Amazing.
your instruments on there and everything. So it was quite cool. So Microsoft Flight Simulator effectively set the bar for a lot of flight simulators, and you know how I feel about flight simulators. This is something that we've spoken about a lot before, and kind of gone to DCS and everything else. Now, Asobi Studio, who we went to see, who did a Plague Tale, not a rat's tail, which I always get that wrong, a Plague Tale. They've been working for the last 5 years, on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And what happened was there's been this whole thing, and I think I've explained this to you, and those of you that follow flight simulators will know that the license was sold or given to Dovetail Games, British-based developer who effectively killed the franchise dead. So yeah, it wasn't very
Just
good.
imagine with the joystick just pushing forward,
Pointing all of the noses of all of the aircraft.
Your franchise is going.
It's just so, but Microsoft had a break clause of some description to allow them to take back some of the creative license.
Right.
So they didn't actually sell it. It was almost, when you have a king in reign who's not quite yet up to the age, so you have a reign protector that looks after the kingdom until
A rain hood.
A rain hood.
Yeah.
I can't remember this, but there's a word. If you know what the word is, please. What's the point at Checkpoint MZine on Twitter?
Hashtag what's the point?
Hashtag what's the point, or what's the
Checking
point?
it now.
Hashtag. But you've got.
Don't do that because I will not see it.
So they were effectively taking care of it, and they used it as a cash cow. It didn't do very, very well, and people, a lot of people thought that Microsoft had abandoned completely the Flight Sim franchise.
Yeah.
Good news is they haven't, and what they've done is, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can look. There's a guy called Frugal Sim who I follow quite a lot to do with flight simulators, and it's the same link that Grant sent me as well. So obviously it's a good one. It's 30 minutes talking about the new Flight Sim. Very exciting stuff. They even use satellite imagery from Bing that then comes into the game.
Love Bing.
It's
Constantly
all live.
binging.
It's constantly Bing.
I binge Bing.
Do you binge Bing?
Yeah. I'll always look for my favourite CBeebies show.
Right. I hate Bing.
I binge Bing.
I
Bing Bing.
I would like to bang Bing in the bong because he's a.
No, I Bing all the time.
I hate Bing.
I'm binging now.
He's such a whiny little rabbit.
No. I thought that, and then I realised it's a show all about anxious children.
He's such a whiny little rabbit.
No. That's exactly what I thought. But the whole show, you watch it, it's about managing a child with anxiety.
But that's what his little potato sack
Flop.
thing does. Flop.
That's
right.
Potato sack. That's very personal. Flop. But look at the setup. Bing doesn't really have parents. So where are his parents? He's an anxious child. Because, I don't know what his setup is, but it's certainly not conventional.
He's a rabbit living with a potato sack. Of course it's friends with an elephant and a sheep. Of course it's not conventional.
Right.
What do you want from him?
Well, he's anxious. So if he drops his ice cream or whatever, he's trying to deal with it.
So just...
The whole show is about managing that.
Anyway.
Now Bing. I know that. I weep constantly. Anyway, I will stop binging Bing.
Stop binging Bing.
And you stop banging Bing.
I'm going to bang Bing.
You can't bang Bing.
I'm going to bang Bing.
No, you'll go to prison for that. Maybe he needs to chill out with a Bing Bong. Anyway, tell me about what you binged.
So they've created this system in which they pull the imagery from Bing, and it's all of the weather and everything is live. And they've done incredible work with the weather. They've got 20 layers, I think, of clouds.
So it's live weather.
That's and they've
cool.
done the shading, and everything's all a little bit different and better. And they have this incredible system where they take the satellite imagery from Bing, and they process it while it's in game. That creates then the 3D. It creates a 3D image of the thing, so it's all live. And then that feeds that back to Bing. So it's.
By the way, Jem's just got in touch on Twitter and says Bing's okay. It's Pando who's the twit.
Well,
I mean, he didn't say twit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all idiots.
It's very much.
They're all idiots.
Tit for tat.
Well, it's Bing for Bong.
Twit for. Carry on.
So anyway, I'm very excited by Microsoft Flight
That's really
Simulator.
cool. I got
Looks
to say,
incredible.
because there hasn't been really a good flight
No.
simulator with proper up-to-date graphics in, as you say, like a decade, presumably.
No, that's not true. That's not what I said. I said
Complete lie.
Microsoft
You
Flight.
stupid
I
idiot.
said Microsoft Flight Simulator ceased to exist. But there's been DCS. There's been X-Plane. There's been
That's not exciting then.
the Lockheed Martin one.
That's a stupid name for a game.
It's prepared for.
Propellers.
I can't remember what it is, but yeah. So, and the great thing, one of the greatest thing about Microsoft Flight Simulator is that because of all of these updates and because of the weather and because of everything else, they've even like simulated wind around mountains to give you the right lift. So
I could have helped them with that.
so it's all very exciting, and one of the things with Microsoft Flight Simulator is that you were always able to do your pilot's license, or keep up your hours. That was the first
Oh right, yeah.
game that allowed you to do that. So it's all, and now with these extra layers, it's a phenomenal tool. So I'm very, 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 very excited about Microsoft Flight Simulator.
When is this happening?
2020.
2020, mate.
2020 or
2020.
whenever they decide to release it. I don't care. I'll wait for it.
Just
forever.
bing it. Bing
I'm
the heck out
gonna,
of it.
I'm gonna do it.
Bing it hard.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm
So
binging now.
So that's one of my pieces of news. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the Writers Guild of America.
I'm so glad.
I think we all need to take a moment here.
Seriously, guys.
Seriously, guys.
Guys.
You need to sort yourselves out, guys.
What's going on?
Writers Guild of America used to award video game writers, so people that wrote stories for video games.
Yeah.
I've just realised that the screen was on you and you just... Sorry, apologies.
Well, I'm doing... I think it should be on me. Sorry, can you put it back on me?
Yeah,
Thanks.
of course. Here we go.
Thanks.
So...
Carry on with your talking. Now go on.
So
appropriate.
the
Put it back on you.
the writers. Sorry, I forgot. The Writers Guild. The Writers Guild has decided that they're not going to award video game narrative or writers anymore. It was a category that they created, and now that they're dropping it for some bizarre reason, their reason is because there needs to have a critical mass in order for them to start awarding. So presumably, the amount of games that are being released every single year hasn't allowed them critical mass to award some stories. And by the way, there are some really good video game stories. There are some really lovely stories.
I don't understand that
within
at
video
all.
games. Well, neither do I. I don't understand why they've sort of stopped awarding video game writers an award. There used to be a category for video games, and now they're not doing it anymore. So it's a bit horrible thing to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem very fair or right or
Well,
nice.
it just doesn't seem very in keeping with the way the world's going. May I recommend to you a podcast
No.
which I listened to today, called "What's in a Game."
Okay. Yeah.
It's on BBC Sounds, and it was made by the BBC.
Yeah.
And
Is it presented by Julia Hardy by any chance?
Alex Humphreys.
Oh, okay, good.
Was that all right?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
fine,
in your
it's fine.
approval? Is that
Julia's
acceptable?
fine as well. I just wanted
They're
to know.
all fine, mate.
I just
Every-
wanted
mate.
to know.
Yeah, okay.
Mate.
Anyway, it's a really lovely program, and it's very much a sort of love letter to games and looking at them much more as pieces of art or artistic endeavor. And this is a sort of reductive cliche in the games industry, but I think they've described it as being like an opera, in that it takes so many different disciplines and it's collaborative, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's a really lovely listen, and it's got some beautiful music in from a game called After Didn't It Rain a Lot Up the Doings.
Right, yeah, my favourite game, that one. Yeah.
All's gone and done in the business.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, listen to it. It's on BBC Sounds, which is everyone's favourite app.
Okay, great. Yeah. Video games aren't... Big blockbusters are collaborative and still are, but I think this is the thing with indie games and everything else now. Like, if you want a decent score, you have to get, obviously, a composer, and you have to get somebody that knows music, and if you want... But it's not as it used to be. It used to be where the developer would have cycles in which they would have groups of people in working on different games. So you'd have your designers, you'd have your coders, you'd have your engine engineers, you'd have your narrative, your storytellers, all the kind of the different elements of the game. I've got to be careful stopping that because I keep cutting your camera.
It doesn't matter because you're holding the feed anyway. Mate. Don't worry about it. No, don't switch over now. It's too late. No, don't cut.
So it used to be that, but then they used to get to something called crunch, and crunch used to be the point at which the studio would expand exponentially for a number of weeks or months to get the game out on time. So you would have literally hundreds and hundreds of people working on this one game for a period of 6 to 12 weeks, whatever it was that their crunch time was.
Probably look at my cactus when I water it. It probably look at my cactus when I water it. It goes all bulgy.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly.
It's weird and slightly sexual.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It swells.
What? Okay. So, but now the development process, as we know with Laura Koonsberg 4.0.
Ultimate Koonsberg 4. I literally think about that game all the time. I was thinking about it today.
Were you really?
Yeah. I was thinking how much I'd like to play it.
Oh, well, we'll get onto that. But you don't need that anymore. So you've got the tools now that allow people to build their games and their stuff. You've got your kind of art design, and everything was within the engine. All the physics-based stuff is within the engine, etc., etc., etc. So I think gaming is changing, and I think you're still going to get the big blockbuster games. They're still very, very cool and very exciting. But even then, I think they have been streamlined because nobody's got any money anymore.
Video games haven't got any money anymore.
No, that's a lie. Video games got a lot.
They're making money hand over fist, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it depends on the game, really. I mean, if you've got a good, strong franchise, and if you release in the right window, Borderlands 3, for example, Borderlands 3 has always kind of historically released September, October time. This year, however, FIFA decided to launch in the same window. And I think they knocked Borderlands off the top of the charts. And Borderlands would have stayed on the top of the charts until the next big title would have come along, or something, of critical acclaim. But, everything now is shifting and moving. I mean, EA is a whole other story because they're a cash cow in themselves. So, so we'll see what happens with that.
Speaking of which, I saw a news article this week which said that some people are accusing Epic of knowingly creating a very, very addictive game, i.e. Fortnite.
Yes.
Which so I saw the story in Eurogamer, and this is happening in Canada.
It is.
I think it's
in Montreal.
They're saying that this is like a lawsuit, a class action thing, like against tobacco companies, warning about the dangers of smoking.
You could have got the same news story from Checkpoint. Just saying.
That's what I meant. Checkpoint. That's what I said. I got it at checkpointmzine.com.
No, checkpointmagazine.com. Magazine. Mzine is the Twitter
magazine.
handle. We'll get some supers up next time as well to come up on the screen as we're.
Do you mean policemen?
Some Aston, some graphics.
Yeah.
Graphics. That's what we want.
Any kind of car or police officer is cool too, though.
Right. Yeah. It's like the Spanish fireman twins.
You what?
Jose.
Oh no. And
Hose P. I love that joke so much. The class action suit. It's I'm so sorry.
Anyway, it's interesting saying that they hired psychologists to make it as addictive as possible, and and they didn't inform people enough.
So
Would you like me to do I can do you the quote.
Which quote?
In a Canadian accent.
Go on. Which one are you talking about?
This was Chartrand.
Chartrand, who's the lawyer for.
Yes.
Or the attorney, rather.
Yes. Who said, in our case, well, Canadian, the two parents that came forward and told us, hey, If we knew it was so addictive it would ruin our child's life, we would never have let them start playing Fortnite, or we would have monitored it a lot more closely. Well, if you're not watching what your children are watching, then you're asking for trouble.
Yeah,
I'm talking, an errant YouTube ad, scarred for life.
So Fortnite is a. Hold on, let's have a look. For the children that you're talking about, I think, were ages 10 and 15, right? 10 and 15
yes,
for the parents
probably.
of the kids that were 10 and 15.
Check it on checkpointmagazine.com.
But no, I'm going to. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the age rating for.
Oh, yes, 10 and 15 they were.
I'm just going to check the age rating.
I mean, it is interesting that to play the game, you surrender the right to sue the company as part of its terms of use.
It arbitrates it independently, which is problematic in itself. Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Age rating. It's suitable for players 12 and above. That's the PEGI. That's the PEGI age rating. It's 12. PEGI 12.
It's 12.
PEGI 12. So the 10-year-old for a start shouldn't have been playing it.
It's not a good acronym.
Pan-European Gaming Industry or something. Whatever it is. PEGI 12.
PEGI.
So I mean, one of the children shouldn't have been playing it anyway. I mean,
yes.
I'm just having a look what the Canadian rating is. Either way, it's not suitable. But it's that whole argument, that whole thing that I talk about when we talk about kids playing unsuitable games.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, you have to have a responsibility to, if you're going to give a child a game, then make sure you know what it is they're playing. And I think it's a bit. The argument with Shatterhand is that this was brought to attention. It drops dopamine. They brought in psychiatrists or psychologists to make it as addictive as they could.
Exactly.
And they didn't give them enough warning. But if the age rating isn't adhered to, and you've already in the terms and conditions, as you say, waive your right to sue any action, any legal action, any legal action at all, then where does that leave these guys? But yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Epic. I think at the end of the day, if you're going to create something, you want something to be as addictive and not necessarily addictive, but as engaging as possible.
You
right?
can't have a go at a burger company for making their burgers as delicious as they possibly can.
Exactly.
That's their job.
Yeah. It's not fair, I don't think. And I think Epic have done really, really well. And by the way, Epic do some good stuff for the game development community.
Exactly.
So there are.
They give, at the end of the day, any games they haven't sold, they give to the homeless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really
and they give them all of the games.
Yeah. I mean, they don't give them any consoles, but
no, or TVs, or electricity, or
CEX.
houses.
Well, you can go down to CEX. Just some feedback. Jem says, I'm only getting Flight Simulator when I can fully emulate the goings-on in Cabin Pressure, specifically the Travelling Lemon.
One of my favourite radio comedies.
Hashtag the lemon is in play. And Julie says, so let me see if I've got this right. Jake Yap is binging Bing and binging Bing, and Tamo wants to bang Bing or get Bing to bang on a bong.
Yeah. That's absolutely right.
She's enjoying the stream.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And
we don't cross the streams. We don't cross them.
A couple of drinks. She also says Spanish fireman twins. Oh, it's just a bad joke. I was all excited for it. Well done, you, Julie. So that's good. Then
That's exciting.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not exciting. It's all very sad.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look.
You know, Tamaya, what they say: give a man a fish, and he'll eat for a day. Give a man a copy of Ultimate Fish Fever 4, containing in-app purchases, and you'll own everything he's got within a month.
Brilliant. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Brilliant.
I don't know.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good.
You'll
Well
be
done.
selling his
Great.
kidneys.
Yeah. And by the way,
sorry.
What?
Why have you got VHSs there?
I'm digitizing all of our family videos from when we were kids.
That's great. I've been doing. It's really weird. I was doing that last week.
Oh, were you really?
It doesn't.
I
put
had
your
a
head in
major
it.
issue
Doesn't
with
put
audio.
your-
There's been an audio problem with everything.
Doesn't put your head in a good place.
I quite like.
No,
the
I'm watching
videos.
myself as an uncomfortable 14-year-old shuffling about on a stage at my local theatre.
Oh, I haven't got to.
It's still too soon.
I haven't got to the age of 14. I think
No.
I'm at the age
32 years ago.
10.
It's too soon.
Still too soon.
Way too soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm digitizing all of that. What I found out is my eldest is exactly like my younger sister. It's
really?
scary. It's actually really scary. And the younger one is like my baby brother, and it's weird. Like, it's so weird. It's like you can anyway. Yeah, it's quite nice. I'm quite enjoying it. I
Nice.
had major issues with sound, trying to pull the sound off that. So that's what all of those wires are for.
Mm.
I've had to have a breakout cable for.
Well, I have major issues.
Just there, full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all good. Moving on, should we go on to PlayStation? We haven't spoken about PlayStation in a while,
We
have we?
must talk about PlayStation.
Have you heard the news? What they're doing on the PlayStation? On the PlayStation's next big announcement?
No.
They are taking their party. You know how on the Xbox party chat you can, or in game you can have as many people as you want in it. I think it's 8 people. Like,
Okay.
I think it might be 8. It might be more than that.
Calls charged at 99p a minute.
No p a minute. Although I don't understand why Microsoft doesn't use the Skype interface for their Xbox Live chat. It really annoys me, and it's something that we've spoken about before. But anyway, Sony are increasing their party size, and they're doubling it
To
from
16 now.
to 16.
Yes.
Well done. Did you see that
Yes,
story?
I did see that story.
And I thought it was
actually.
quite a good story. It's quite an interesting story because
They're assuming that PlayStation owners now have 16 friends.
I didn't say that.
I mean, I read a thing saying that you can only have, these are studies, you can only actually have 5 close friends.
Oh,
And all
yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah,
think was,
yeah.
wow, 3 to go.
Yeah.
Nearly there.
Yeah, that's a scientific study. When you're playing with people on online,
Mm.
you know, it's a different
When you're being,
when you're being
yeah.
anyway. Yeah, which is quite good. But I mean, doesn't it get a bit loud, a bit noisy, a bit messy? 16 people in a party, everybody talking over. I mean, it's bad enough when you've got 4 of you playing in a game.
That's a good point.
So I don't understand what the impact of it is. And most games don't have more than 4 players in a squad, whatever game that is. There are rare exceptions.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar anymore with the PlayStation 4's setup, but I don't even know if it's something on the Xbox. You can bring in your TV signal, so you can use your Xbox as an actual receiver, a TV
I know that.
receiver. Yeah.
I definitely don't use it to watch streams of CNN or anything like that online.
But the point is that in a party,
What is the point?
in the party, in the party with the Xbox, you could watch TV together. So say there was 10 of you.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so you could all put your headset on and you can sit down and watch something together, which makes sense. I don't know if Sony has built that into their system. But
So,
anyway, it's a
like,
bit of a boring.
Question time, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Question time party.
you just show up at the question time. You wouldn't even go. Question time isn't even question time anymore.
Oh.
It's crap. Fiona Bruce is terrible. She's terrible.
She's, she's.
Come on, try to dig her out of this. Come on.
She hasn't been broadcasting for very long.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
This is a derailment, sorry, but Jem wanted to know, he said, I found a load, 3 of home videos to digitize, including my extraordinary nan reading some of her poems.
Wow.
Sounds really cool. Any tips for software setups, or is this not the stream for that? I mean, it's not, but I'd say go for the Elgato.
Is that what you've been using? I've lost
Yes.
mine. I don't know where the hell mine's gone. So what I've
Mine
is that where it's gone?
Yes.
Genuinely?
No.
No.
Think
I can't find it. No, I thought I'd maybe dropped it off or something. Yeah, the Elgato is a really good thing because the audio embeds into the HDMI, which is great. So you can pull it
Yes.
straight out. I use a SCART to HDMI converter for reference, and I pull it through the Blackmagic Intensity Extreme, which is effectively it's an older version of the Elgato thing, but I have to have a breakout cable for the audio, so it's all very complicated. Elgato, just get Elgato. It's about
Get
100
Elgato.
quid. It's 100,
Yeah, they're
100
really great.
quid. The HD60, that's the one that you want because it will give you all of the formats, and then you can use it for everything. Then it doesn't just have to be for video streams.
You can start making your own rubbishy YouTube videos of you playing.
Which we're going to be
Minecraft.
doing. I keep
Yeah.
threatening, and
I'm very
actually
excited.
we can do that. We can do that
I'm
now if
super
you want.
excited.
So yeah, so there's that. There was something that I wanted to talk to you about before you derailed me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We'll come back to it.
PlayStation.
Anyway.
You were talking about PlayStation in the parties.
Yeah, no, I've given up on PlayStation. That story's it's a non-story now anymore. But there has been a leak. EA has leaked information. Was it EA that leaked the information?
Is this about the launch
It was
game
FIFA
for the
20
5 or no?
No, it was FIFA 20. There was a global. Hold on, there's a story here. There's FIFA 20, which was released only a few days ago. My hair's gone all bouffon.
Tamo, come on, mate.
Sorry, babes.
Come on,
I'm just going to leave the camera on you.
don't do that.
Has seen personal details of up to 1,600 people. Their
Wow.
information has been leaked through the new FIFA 20 game that was released a couple of days ago. So if any of you have bought FIFA 20, my suggestion would be to just make sure that your information is safe.
Always install the patches, guys.
Get in touch. Well, it's not even the patch. It's not even that. Get in touch with EA, and they say they shut down the registration as soon as the issue was highlighted. I think on 1:30 on release date, and they've tried to bring it back and secure it. And I think everything's been resolved. But just for the sake of ease, anybody that's got FIFA 20, just change your password. Just change your password.
Also, question your life choices.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, why? Why? Of all of the games,
buy a football.
Of all of the you've got Rocket League, for God's sake.
Oh, there's a really good football game. I know, not words you'd ever expect me to say.
Yeah,
But
I'm genuinely.
I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you about one of those gaming things where everyone does a sprint thing and tries to do a.
Oh yeah, the game jams. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a football game that's really fun, and I can't find it.
Did you download it?
No.
Is it a console or?
It's an app game. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm so sorry. It's very boring. It's called... Oh, well, there's one called The Ancient Mixtape,
Okay.
where it's little cassettes that you put in lines. It's kind of like a Bejeweled-y kind of thing, but not exactly.
Okay.
That's quite fun.
Okay.
But there's another one which is... I'll find it and we'll put a link in. Or maybe we'll just cut this bit out because this is how tedious it is when done in a linear way. But it's fun. It's a bit like an Angry Birds mechanic. So you have goals either side of the screen,
Yeah.
and then you have one footballer per team. And the computer's one footballer, and you're the other footballer.
Okay.
And to aim your footballer at the football drops down in the middle, and then you press down on your footballer and pull back, and it's like the same catapult physics of
Right.
the Angry Birds thing. So you pull it down, and that determines the angle and the velocity that you then launch your footballer at the ball. And it's kind of fun because you just got these footballers just throwing themselves around blindly at this football,
Oh, so
trying to get
the
it into
physics
the ball.
is
It's the same physics as
right.
Angry
Okay.
Birds.
Good. Okay. Fine.
It's fun.
Sounds
Lo-fi fun.
Sounds interesting. It
It's
sounds
free.
like
It's
air
fun.
hockey with angles.
Air hockey with ankles.
I've been playing. Where's my phone? I've been playing Board Kings, obviously.
Of course you have.
I
I can't believe you play that game.
I've stopped playing PES. The football game I played for literally years. I think I went back and I did the. I went to see how long. 3 years.
Why?
3 years. I was a. I just
suddenly thought
there
I'm
was that
wasting
period
time.
when I was here, sorting the house out, and I was so exhausted that I wasn't, and I just for about a month I just didn't touch it, and I was part of a group because with these online games now you can join like teams, and you all work towards a certain goal, and a lot of these teams kick you out if you've been inactive for a number of days. And then you lose the bonuses, and then you have to find another team, and you have to work your way up, and your levels kind of. So I gave up, to be honest with you. I didn't have the brain, and I don't even like football. Like I don't even watch football or like football, and I was starting to get really confused with the type of. It wasn't even confused. I just couldn't be bothered. If I'm honest with you, I just couldn't be bothered anymore.
you suddenly realise.
What am I doing?
Did you feel slightly like one of those German soldiers at the end of the First World War when it was all over that just sat in the road and wept, suddenly realising the futility of it all?
No, I just moved on to Board Kings.
Ah, right.
Um, and I've been playing it ever since.
Of course you have.
But I've been playing Board Kings. I went back to Risk. Risk has had an update, and it's made the AI
please.
harder.
I'm never going to play it. Never going to play it.
But I have downloaded a game called Ghost Trick by Capcom. So for those of you that have a mobile phone, it's a free game.
For those of you that have a mobile
For those
phone.
of you,
How do you think, Rochester? How do you think listen to the
I didn't mean it
podcast?
like that.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about
I
getting
just-
one of them new mobile phones, Tammy. Seem to be catching on, don't they? Might get one, yes. There's a couple we got to see. The gentleman showed me one, nice big buttons on it. And I said to the chap, "Can I get the speaking clock on this?" He said, "Why don't you go and do one, you stupid old basket."
Case. Yeah.
For those of you
For
guys who've got a mobile phone, and I know that's not everyone, I really hate excluding people. If you're, I don't know, watching
On a tablet.
this on a tablet, aren't we all?
Or a landline.
Oh, do you know, I went to the, derailment, sorry, but I went to the Milton Keynes Museum.
Yes. Interesting museum, isn't it?
Much more than you'd think.
Yes.
And in the phone, there's like this big room full of phones, like historical phones.
Yeah.
And you can touch them all, and you can.
Yeah.
They've all been wired into each other, so you can ring up other extensions. And
Yeah.
When someone picks up, you can go, "You smell," and put the phone. I didn't do that,
Yeah.
but there was
Amanda
a
hug and kiss.
thing called yeah. I can't remember what it's called now. It's called like the radio phone or something. This is an early 20s invention,
Right.
which allowed you to listen to 4 different streams of audio via your telephone.
Wow.
It was like a broadcasting
Early
system.
radio. Or not
Yeah,
even. It was
and
because
it
the
has
wire's
like
been around
there
for a
was
while.
music and drama, and it was just like great oration done. It was very
It's like
cool.
the-
and you could listen to examples of it. It was
It's
very
like the airplane stuff where you plug in and you choose your channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you choose
remember
which
that.
one you want. Do you remember that?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Milton
Anyway.
Keynes Museum is amazing
Yeah,
for that
but-
kind of stuff.
For those of you with a mobile
For
phone,
those, for those of you with a mobile device that want something to play, Ghost Trick is quite cool. It's a Capcom game, and you play a dead spirit, and you manipulate the environment in order to get through the story. It's quite cool. It's quite an interesting game mechanic, and it's done in that really Japanesey kind of Ace Attorney style. Art style. It's really, really cool, really lovely. So the
Dude.
crazy, mad Japanese hair with the perfectly fitted suits and.
can
and
I ask
everything
you
else.
some questions?
Of course you can.
please?
Yeah.
Number 1, can you shoot ectoplasm at people?
No.
Can your finger go? Do people's fingers go right through you?
Yes.
I might be interested in that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a game for Bing. So.
It's not a game for Bing.
So that's one, and I've really got back to my kind of. I think there was a void after because I haven't touched Pez, and Pez is technically a
I
management.
only ever think of those candy dispensing heads.
Yeah.
When you say that, literally
Pez,
every time. I tried not to do it.
It's
But weirdly oily. Anyway, go on.
palm oil. I think a
Okay.
lot of it's to do with the palm oil that they use in the Pez sweeties. There's a lot of palm oil and a lot of sugar in it.
All right. So did Pez, with those candies, did that stand for like palm oil extinction zone or something?
Probably, I mean, more than likely, or
Unbelievable.
totally
Yeah,
unbelievable.
absolutely unbelievable.
But yeah, so we've got that. So I think because of the Pez thing, I then started looking at airport and airline management games,
Oh, I know.
and I've downloaded
When
I've
you-
downloaded a really good one.
You take up Morris dancing.
I've downloaded a really good one called, and I'm going to put it in front of this camera here, called Airline.
Charming.
Where's your face?
Airline loading screen.
Airline Manager. It's called, and you choose your routes. Obviously,
Do you get to
chosen the
be
masses.
Stelios and you get
You
to,
get
walk
to
around
be
going, hello, my
Stelios."
friend.
Yeah, and you buy
I am
aircraft.
charismatic.
It's more like Michael O'Leary actually, but so
Is there any way we can monetize their breathing? Okay.
So it's quite a cool game. You are in control of a airline. You create an airline. You can create your own livery.
Can you name it?
You can name it,
Oh.
and there's a separate app that you can create your own liveries for your aircraft. Which is quite cool.
I get mine sponsored by Michael Bolton. and I'd call it "Can I Touch You, Air."
Okay, that's very good. Can I touch you there,
Oh wow!
baby?
Wow! I did not know
Did you not know what? That I knew the song.
that your voice would go right through me. The way
Sorry.
it did. It's incredible.
Wow. Thanks, babes. But look, I've created. I obviously chose Syria as my hub, and I chose my
course.
Syrian Airlines.
Yeah.
And I have.
And what did you call it?
Saw Syria, because Syrian Air and all the other ones have been taken. So, and I
What does "soar" mean?
soaring in the sky,
soar.
not "ow it hurts."
I thought
soar.
like I want to play a game with you on an aeroplane. Like,
No, that would just be a bit weird and
Yeah,
creepy, right? So
and that's not you at all.
no,
No
that's
way.
outrageous.
That was
But
way
look,
off
you
base.
can see here I've created. I'm just gonna show Jake, and I'll see if I can show you guys. But you
No,
can
do
see
it on the camera, and then I can see it over there. So
the
just stick it
liveries,
over.
my liveries. Here we go. So I've gone for quite a garish
Have you?
livery here.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you'll be
do
able
it like
to-
that,
oh,
do it
wrong,
like that.
wrong camera. I'll change. I need to change the focus. Hold on. Why is this?
I can't really see your livery.
Hold on a second.
I can see your
macro
kidneys.
needs to be on. That's why.
There we go.
In fact, let me open up the other. That's gone and changed the whole setting now.
You've
which
destroyed
I'm
everything.
Really
Oh,
annoyed about that
brilliant.
now. There we go. Sorry,
This is
guys. That
never
was a
happening
live
again.
white balance.
This is never
There.
more life white balancing.
More live white balance.
Wow,
So
we've
it's
really
just-
cornered the
I mean,
market
it's
on
just
that.
Kind of. There we go. And now you're too blue. It'll warm up. So
cares?
here we go. Look, for example, this is my A220.
That's not garish. I quite like the little.
It's
Red
the Syrian
tip.
flag. It's not a tick, so it's the Syrian flag sideways.
I didn't say tick. I said tip.
Tip.
Red tip.
Yeah, so that's that. But you can create liveries in this. It's quite cool. So you can actually, then apply those liveries. Here you go. Look at the camera. Just let's focus you up again. Just look directly at the lens for me, please. Great, thanks, love. So yeah, it's quite good. So I've downloaded that. I've been playing that. I didn't sleep until about 2:30 last night because I was in bed playing that.
Really?
In fact, I can tell you what time I went to sleep because Sleep Cycle will tell you when I went to sleep.
I don't. Yeah,
You don't care.
I'll
do.
accept 2:30. That's. It's not.
I went to I went to bed at 1:30. Oh no, I went to bed at midnight and I fell asleep at 1:30
Oh wow.
and I snored. This records your snoring as well. It's
Oh,
really,
I don't want to hear that.
it's really weird.
I don't want to hear
It's
that.
really weird.
Oh wow. I was just waiting for a moment of I love you, Jake.
No,
Oh,
that
you know.
doesn't happen.
Can I touch you there?
Yeah. So there we
Yeah.
go.
Wow.
So those are the games that I've been playing. I'm very, very. There's some good games actually. There's some really good games. So Ghost Trick is one. Airlines Manager, if you're interested in managing
an
airlines, do that and actually go for Airlines Manager because you've got your Airlines Painter, which is a complimentary app, which is what I just showed you.
Wouldn't there be?
Excuse me.
There's a corner in the market, given what where everything's going nowadays, to do Liquidation Manager,
Let's have a look if there
where
is.
you literally just go around taking perfectly functioning companies and run them into the ground to make a quick buck.
Liquidation.
As happened, so I'm told. Can I name a company? Is that dangerous?
What's the company that they took
It
over?
was-
Because you can say the company. Hold on. Let me just change the camera. Write it down here.
Oh, dear God. Anyway, it was a very famous high street chain,
Very.
and apparently it was turning a very healthy profit. But the parent company acquired it and thought, we'll just scrap it and make a quick buck.
Is it in the public domain? The information.
2 words. First word.
Oh, I was talking to somebody about that the other day.
We're being very excluding right now.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm going to just check because we are in a bit of a legal quagmire on this. Let's have a look. Talk to the camera, Jake.
Okay. Here's my theory about Brexit. See, I think that a lot of liberal people, sort of Remainers, let's say, A lot of Remainers say, look, you can't have Brexit because it will be chaos. It will be carnage. I think something people don't really talk about so much is some people right now really want chaos and they want carnage. And
No,
I'm
we
not talking
can't
about
mention it.
disaster capitalists. I'm talking about just people. I would think of when Hitler announced total war. People cheered.
That was a great game, by the way. Total War franchise is a really, really
Seriously?
good game. Yeah.
Yes, it is. But that's the point. The people cheered. People, it's no good saying, "Oh, hard Brexit, no deal Brexit would be driving the bus off the cliff." Some people want to drive the bus off the cliff, and I think that's a valid reason. Like, it's part of the human psyche. Sometimes craves war, conflict, and chaos. We don't always want stability, and no one's talking about that. I'm not saying I want it, but I'm saying actually that's valid.
I agree with you. I mean,
Thank you.
You could apply the same argument to. Actually, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because we're live and
Great.
And it's all a bit
Were you going to say
dangerous.
my wife?
Along those lines.
Great.
Women.
Are we... Wow. And good night.
Good night, everybody. Don't do that because that's where the quiz is.
Ever.
In fact, shall we just do the quiz? Because
I think it's
it's
probably
probably about time.
It feels like time.
And we're going to do a little bit of a pause here because I have to put the music in. So let's do the quiz. Oh, I didn't do your face. Hold on. Let's do the quiz. Excellent. Right. Jake, welcome back to the Checkpoint
Your
quiz.
ritualized humiliation while I massage the rules to favour me.
Put your
It's
phone
basically
down.
gerrymandering.
Put your phone down.
I'm just saying.
Put your phone down. We know what happens when you've got your phone out during the quiz.
Julie says, snoring could easily have been mistaken for your Saw Syria plane taking off. Nice livery. I've always been fond of a red tip. Don't know what that means. Jem says the airline game sounds about like one I had on the Amiga a few years ago. Hours
Yes.
of my childhood spent on that.
There are some, actually there were some really good management games when we were kids. And there's been a conversation going on Twitter, by the way, around the Mega Drive. I don't know if you've seen that. The guys have been posting the checkpointers.
Yes.
Have been pointing. What were they called again? Judy and Pablo. What were your suggestions for names again? The checkers, the pointers. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, they've been talking about the Mega Drive, and yes, the new Mega Drive. So did you know this? There's a new kind of Mega Drive Mini that's been released. Like they've done the SNES Mini and all that kind of stuff.
It's
So
the definitive edition, would you say? It's so easy to trigger you. It's brilliant.
I just hate.
I just love
It's not.
triggering you.
It's just.
Trigger him.
Anyway,
He's triggered.
you've got lots of. You've got lots of games. Anyway, yes. So there is a new Mega Drive, and we. You know what? I'm going to see if I can get my hands on one, and we will give one away. We'll give one away.
What are you talking about?
We'll give one away.
This is like when you said my child would meet Stampy.
Yeah, I'm still
You're
on
teasing
it.
these
I'm
people.
still on it. I'm still
you're
on
lucky this isn't the BBC and the production guidelines and rules and regulations on competition.
There's a copy of the BBC guidelines behind you if you want to flick through it. and
You
we'll
can
just
win a
double
copy
check
of
it.
the BBC guidelines.
From when was it? 2002, I think that copy is from.
By the way, the world's rarest console is up for sale. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
The Nintendo PlayStation.
Oh, is this the collaboration?
Only known prototype.
Yeah. Of the one because they were going to collaborate, weren't they?
Yes. And the only known prototype that's there is up for auction, which could be crazy, right?
It will go for a lot of money.
I think we're probably talking about 500,000.
I'd say millions. I'd say millions.
Millions,
I'd
mate.
say millions.
I'd say millions.
Definitely
I'm gonna
millions.
say now. Millions.
I'd say millions. I'm probably wrong. I can never get the right price.
And just before we do the quiz, I just want to say how exciting and fun it is being able to do this podcast with interaction from people.
It is.
It's really lovely. So we'll be back next Monday night at 8 p.m.
Well, I'll be back at 8 p.m. God knows what time you'll show up.
when I feel like it. And you can use the hashtag What's the Point on Twitter, or you can get in touch via the YouTube stream, which we'll tweet out.
I want to know actually this week, because of the whole Mega Drive conversation that's going on. I mean, I went Prince of Persia, which wasn't on the Mega Drive at all, in fact. But I want to know what games on the Mega Drive or the SNES, or even the earlier versions, so the Master System and the Super Nintendo, any of the kind of the my brain has gone blank
Wow.
on Nintendo platforms. But yeah, I want to know what games you would play again. There is actually a copy. You can buy Mega Drive games for your Xbox. So there's a list. I think there's about 40 games on one disc that you can get.
I think I've got that.
Yeah, there's some classics and then there's some.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you play them again and go, oh, that's why video games evolved. This is really annoying.
Yeah. Streets of Rage still does well. Right, should we do the quiz?
Yeah.
Let's try
Pause.
again.
Pause.
Pause.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Name 3 question
Hippopotamus.
1. Question 1. Name 3 characters from the Star
Mary
Fox.
Poppins, Dick Van Dyke. What?
From the Star Fox world.
Oh.
Where's my pen?
Danny Star Fox.
Okay.
Ricky Plums. He had like a plum for a head.
Yeah.
I remember.
So hold on. Danny
Star Fox. Ricky Plums, who's his sort of navigator. And then Wellington Lizard Esquire, who was like a sort of baddie, but like a comedy baddie that you didn't actually have to. It was like a boss level. He was like a sort of mischievous Wellington Lizard Esquire.
Yeah, he evolved into Greenback in Danger Mouse, I think.
Well, there was a famous legal case
Right.
brought, but they settled out of court. And all the money went to Alexander Armstrong.
Was it
Danger Mouse?
I think it was a legal case because they didn't warn them of the dangers of being
Of the
a
addictive
lizard,
nature of
addictive nature of being
Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse.
Good.
Good, excellent. That's the quiz. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Question 2, and I actually told you this while we were discussing, and I did this on purpose.
Were you listening?
Were you
Of course I
listening?
wasn't. I never listened to anything.
What year
Don't know.
was the first ever Microsoft Flight
1982.
Simulator released? 1982 is what he says. Okay. Question 3.
Don't try and,
What is the colour of Jack from Jack and Dexter's eyes?
Oh, I love that question.
Because it's based on you.
That's so nice. You're a nice man. His eyes are blue.
He's saying blue. Doesn't know anything about video games.
I'm going to say blue.
Okay, blue.
And then if I'm wrong, I'm going to say, oh yeah, but in Jack 2, when he goes into dark Jack mode or something, but it won't wash. Carry on.
Excellent. Okay, question 3.
Yes.
Define or give me something on Abzu.
What do you mean by that? Define or give me something. I can give you something. I can say it's
keep it safe for work.
It's an aquatic exploration game.
No, not the game. Define the word Abzu. Abzu, the game, is
Oh,
based
easy.
on something.
It's an Asian grapefruit.
Okay, Asian.
This is so easy. Or am I thinking of
Speaking of fruits,
ponzu? What's the one in? They always have it in Bake Off. It's like an
Which
Asian
one?
citrus thing.
yuzu.
Yuzu.
No,
Yuzu.
Uzu's
Yuzu,
Greek.
not Uzo.
Yuzu. Yuzu.
Okay, maybe Abzu means Temple of Water.
Okay. Temple of Water.
So you've not gone for the Asian grapefruit. You want Temple of Water, yeah?
I'm just going for whatever I think is going to be moderately. If you want a pound
Okay.
there, mate. Look at that.
Finally,
Big boy
I know.
right now.
It's actually 3 because I've got 3-time multiplier at the bottom.
Boom!
Just saying. I spent £5 on scratch cards and I only won £3 back. So
You're building
really
up to a
annoyed.
big win there, mate.
that's just a. That was because I had to build my Master Chief up there.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to see
No,
Master
who cares
Chief?
about your
I got Master Chief on
You
my
can show your
birthday.
Master Chief next week.
You can
Tease
see.
them.
Question
When
5.
Julie and Gemma unexpectedly unavailable this time next week.
Question 5.
Yes.
Name the fruit
All right.
which Crash
By this
Bandicoot collects.
apples. And they are mainly red with yellow bits and green bits.
Okay. Let's find out.
Yes.
how
Look
you
how
did.
humiliated you are. And then, once we've got the results, I'll explain why they're not the results you thought because of a new system I've just introduced.
Right. So this is brand new, is it? Brand new. Okay. First question. Name 3 Star Fox characters.
I'm pretty sure I've got this one right.
You got none of them right.
What?
Of course. You've got Fox McCloud, you've got Falco Lombardi, Slippy
McCloud.
Toad, Peppy Hare, Crystal.
I mean, I wasn't that far off. With some
Well,
of these.
you got Danny Star Fox. You got Ricky Plums.
Yeah. How different is that though to what was the
Wellington Wizard Esquire.
Wellington Lizard?
Wellington
Hang
Lizard.
on, wait a minute. Wait, look.
Hold on.
Slippy Toad. How different is Slippy Toad to Wellington Lizard and Danny
For a
the Plum
start,
Sky?
for a start,
the
a
plum-
lizard.
the plum-
For a start, a lizard is not amphibious.
Oh wow! I mean, come off it. Scroll down.
Wrong one. Wolf O'Donnell, Leon Pawalski, Pig Medenga, Andrew O'Connor, Panther Carrasco.
Mine were better.
They were, it doesn't matter if they were better. They were still.
actually better.
They were still wrong. They're still wrong. They're
But
wrong.
they were better.
But they're wrong.
But they were
They
better.
were wrong. They were
I
wrong.
find this incredible.
Nil point.
It's really nice to have the quiz back.
Nil point. I said.
Je m'en fous.
Je
espèce
m'en
de
fous.
petit connard.
C'est
Suce-moi.
non. Je correct.
Gros con.
Okay.
Voilà.
The year the first flight simulator, the first Microsoft flight simulator was released,
Yes.
you said
1982.
you were absolutely right.
Because I do listen.
I know you do.
And I
babes.
do care.
I know you do, babes. And I'm,
Yeah,
I'm quite
big time.
proud of you. Question 3. What are the colour of Jack from Jack and Dexter's eyes?
Oh, I know this is wrong. I feel like they were green, really, weren't they?
No, they were blue.
Oh!
They were blue. They were actually blue. You got it right. Well done. And I was going to say something about your mic. I was going to try to play a pun on your mic.
No, you don't. I don't want charity.
Yeah,
All
excellent.
I ask for is fairness, Tamar.
Yeah.
I just ask
He
for
says,
fairness.
having
Just fairness.
argued with me about the blooming names for the Star Fox.
I think it would be fair to reward someone's creative endeavour.
Yeah, it would
Perhaps you don't believe in that. Perhaps you don't think creative work should ever be rewarded.
Okay, I asked you to define Abzu.
Yes.
So, Abzu is an ancient name for fresh water, underground fresh water.
Oh, wow.
So it's water that's been filtered and comes through, and it comes from, I think it's Babylonian or Sumerian mythology. So Abzu is an actual thing.
Oh, wow.
So, and I thought it was quite nice because I started doing some research into Abzu and I was trying to figure out the game mechanic and why it was what it was and how it worked and what they did on that front. And it turns out that it was because it was based on mythology.
That's really cool.
So I just thought that was just quite
That's
a nice
really
thing.
cool.
I
I
thought it was
love
quite a
that.
nice thing. You still got it wrong.
No, yeah, but I will happily give way.
And finally, I asked you name the fruit that Crash Bandicoot collects,
I'm
and you
confident on
said
this.
apple. They look like apples, don't
Oh,
they?
no, they're not apples.
They
are
look like apples, don't
And
they?
also, I'm thinking of. Oh my god, what are they?
They're called Wumpa fruits.
Oh man.
They're called Wumpa fruits.
Oh.
And they look like apples. They were one of the covers of the
Ah.
magazine, actually. We had falling apples on the checkpoint.
one of the covers, and it was the retro game issue. So there we go. That's
so
the
cross with
quiz.
myself for that one.
Yeah. Well, you got 2, which is
Well, for me,
which
that's-
by the way, not
that's
just for
pretty good.
you, for this quiz.
But, I mean, to be fair, one of them was like a competition on the back of a cereal packet where they say, "Hey, to launch the exciting new Ultimate Koonsberg 4, we've got a rip-roaring competition for you." And then underneath it's like, what word best describes the competition? Is it A, rip-roaring, B, runny, or...
Yeah, but you paid attention. That was the key thing.
I did.
I mean, 1982 was one of the years that I threw out, and I only said it once. I deliberately only said it once,
wow.
and I did it in
There
passing.
was so much more going on in this podcast than I realised.
There you go.
Layers.
Layers, mate. Layers. We're like an onion. We're not like an onion. That's the quiz. Well done. Good work. 2 out of 5. New scoring system. Well done.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Good. I think that's it, really. Have you got anything to say?
I just have a closing remark
Yeah.
from David. Something
Let's
else.
let's get all of the social stuff up as well, so we can give people our shout outs. Yeah, go on.
I have a closing remark from David. Something else.
Okay.
Who says who's watching, and he says this is very enjoyable, but
Oh, I hate the buts.
I'm feeling a lot more sympathetic towards Tamer.
Oh, thanks.
He's a very
Thanks.
patient man, and I think he's right.
Oh, bless you.
So
Bless
you know, though, you sort of have those moments of sort of pull focus on yourself, and you kind of go,
I've been
I am
pulling
just
focus
an
on you and
obnoxious-
white balance on you all evening. I mean,
"I'm just an obnoxious little upstart, really."
no, I love
Being like
you.
Ricky Gervais, you know, you're the Stephen Merchant. You're the
no,
sort of
don't
credible.
ever call me
No,
Stephen
come on, you're the
Merchant.
credible
I'm
one.
Not
You're the credible one.
No,
who
Ricky
actually-
Gervais is credible. He's just an idiot. It's just, you know, let's be honest about it.
Let's just stay where we are.
But yeah, thank you very much, and
Yeah.
thank you all for joining in and
Yeah,
getting
I
involved.
can't believe you
We've
have, and
had
thank you.
we've had some really lovely comments on the YouTubes.
It is really, really nice to be able to kind of talk to you live in
Yeah.
terms of getting your feedback and hearing what you think. And do join us if you're listening to the podcast. Do please join us if you can on Monday night at 8, because it's a really different experience.
Yeah, and I quite like it. I mean, this has been something that I've wanted to do for a while.
Yeah,
I went off and I did it for George Galloway. Don't know why. And then
we all do things for George
So,
Galloway we can't explain.
but we're kind of. I mean, I know the camera angles aren't great. We are going to tweak stuff. We're going to get titles and graphics. I just need to build them.
Come on, it's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress. But please don't not download the podcast. So if you
Yes.
could, just for our statistics and for our kind of just for that reason,
Yes.
even if you don't listen to it, even if you want to watch this on here and repeat watch it, thank you, and we love you for it. But
Yeah.
please still continue to download the podcast.
If you have a dog when you go out,
if you have a phone,
for those early adopters among you.
excellent. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks so much.
And I'm going to end the stream now. I'm going to fade to black. I don't know how it's going to work.
Wow.
But yeah, we'll
Okay.
see how it goes.
I'll
see
wave
you
on
later.
your camera.
Bye. No,
Bye.
you wave on yours. It's
Oh,
on you.
well, yeah, I was
All
going
right.
to say put it back on you.
No, I don't need to. It's fine.
Amazing.
Love
Okay,
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Is it faded? Oh, cool.